So for me, what really important or what I expected is that in few years' time, if we could make Sarawak famous as the high quality Liberica producing region, that's my target. So we want the world to see Sarawak as a high quality coffee producing region.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Innovate Sarawak Stories, brought to you explicitly by 𝗘𝗽𝗶𝗀𝗀 Digital Village in partnership with 𝗪𝗺𝗺𝘀. As usual, I'm 𝗪𝗺𝗃𝗲, your host, and today we're delving into the rich, aromatic specialty coffee stories. And our guest today is a true pioneer of not only has shaped Sarawak's coffee scene, but has also created a movement around a being that has been deeply rooted in our local soil. So we have in our studio not one, but two co-founders, introducing Dr. Kenny and Raven from Earthlings Coffee Workshop. Hello.
Hello, hi everyone.
Welcome to our studio today.
Thank you, 𝗪𝗧.
How you guys been?
Quite good. I've been busy recently.
We're busy recently. I've heard that you guys just coming back from Osaka
Yes, from the exhibition.
exhibition. How was Osaka?
Oh, it's great.
Great, yeah.
Everyone said it's really hot, but it's actually still okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But going to the expo, the World Expo, was eye-opening, I guess.
So are you guys like bringing or representing Earthling over there? And
I would say I'm presenting the coffee from Sarawak to the coffee drinker in Japan. It's a very rare opportunity for us to show the coffee we have from Sarawak in that stage.
And also the communities behind the coffee.
so how does the Japanese react to Sarawak's coffee? How's their response?
I think they really like it. Some of them, they actually brought some of this coffee expert from Japan, like a coffee grader from Japan, and they tested the coffee from Sarawak, which is grown in the low elevation. But for those experts, they might thought, oh, this is from the high-grown Arabica, which is not. We actually grow it in Sarawak in the sea level. So it's such a big achievement, I think, because the quality is something really we can show to the world.
Okay, so before we dive deep into your coffee stories and things like that, so many people dream of turning passions into a business. And for both of you, what is that, maybe like the earliest moment where you feel like, I have to start something related with coffee. I have to start Earthling. When is that and how it begins?
For you?
Me. I guess that moment is, so I had really good coffee in Melbourne before I came to Kuching.
Okay.
And it was a struggle to actually find the type of coffee that I liked back here in Kuching. So I would make my own coffee, and then eventually I would have friends over at home and brewed them some of the coffees, and they were like, oh wow, this is so different. Like, why can't we get this in Kochi? So I guess that was really when the idea came about to start something here and share this coffee that I enjoy so much with Kuchingnites, Sarawakans and Jan.
I see. So
I think for me, it's the moment that when I found out coffee is actually the thing that can bring the world to me. Because I'm in Kuching now, I have to start my business here. I'm staying here. So I like to travel. And at one point, I just discovered that, I'm sure you guys heard of the single origin coffee, the terroir of the coffee. So the coffee that grown in a different region of the world, sort of like picking up the unique flavors from the microclimate, the soil and everything. And that's where that create the unique flavor, the terroir flavor of coffee from different region. And by doing coffee business, I'm able to import coffee from different parts of the world, and to experience the terroir from all around the world. And this is something that made my mind up, to decide that, okay, I should start this because this is how I can get the world to me and to share this to the part of everyone in Sarawak.
I see.
Right.
I see. So in Earthling, what kind of coffee beans that usually you guys work with are the most famous?
Right. I think we started with, you want to talk about that?
So we started by bringing in specialty coffee from around the world, basically sourcing it from different countries or even different farms, different lots that has different flavors. And this is mostly Arabica coffee in terms of the species. Yeah. And then over the years, we realized we have something very special and unique in Sarawak as well, and that's a different species called Liberica coffee. So we started exploring that, and we started working with farmers to experiment to see how we can make this coffee taste better, because a lot of people don't know about Liberica or don't know we are a coffee producing country because it didn't really hit their palate at first. And that reason wasn't because Liberica was inferior to Arabica. It's just different. And not many people know how to process it, like how to make it into a coffee that actually tastes good. So when we discovered that, we thought, oh, okay. So instead of bringing stuff from outside into Kuching, we could also show the world that we have something that is interesting. Yeah.
I see. So what's the difference between Liberica and perhaps Arabica, maybe in terms of its taste, the notes? What would make Liberica?
I think when we talk about different species of coffee, it's like we're talking about different species of fruits, right? So normally people would talk about Arabica and Robusta, right? So Arabica is one species, Robusta is another species, and Liberica is a different species. Actually, there are more than 132 species out there. And the differences between Arabica and Liberica is that Liberica is more weather resilient. They are more resilient towards the heat and extreme weather. Also, the taste of Liberica is more wild in the way, so it's more towards the south. It's more towards the warm climate fruits. So Arabica is more like the cool climate fruits. Liberica is more like mango, 𝗬𝗎, you call it locally 𝗬𝗎, 𝗬𝗏.
Like fruity kind
that
of
part of fruits, yeah, fermented fruits.
Okay. So, you're saying that your Liberica coffee bean has been sourced from the local farmers.
Right.
So how do you, like work with local farmers, maybe through ethical sourcing,
Right.
rather than just go beyond just buying the local bean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How?
So I think the reason for us to do this Liberica project is that being a coffee grader myself, and I'm also a coffee sensorist. Also, we have been doing coffee tradings for many years. I've been import coffee for more than 12 years. So I guess from my experience, I really knows that this coffee has potential. I know which market to sell. So the way we do it is that we will go into the village. We would have a discussion with the villagers, like from different kampongs, different ethnic group, and talk to them about their life. And normally I will start with the crop economy calculation. I will study the opportunity cost of that particular village. So we always start with whether they are happy with the income. So if they're happy with the income that can be brought by the Liberica cultivation, then we will start with the project. And then once they are engaged, we'll start with refining the quality of the Liberica to the specialty level. And then we pay with a scheme. I come up with a scheme of payment. Mean to say, we will encourage them to do better fermentation, better drying, better sorting, better sensory improvement. With that, we pay more to them. And all the price we pay to these villages are open to everyone. So they all know how much we pay for each of them. And then they all know how much we sell the coffee. So it's transparent. It has to be fully transparent.
I see.
Right.
So I thought that when you say you're sourcing coffee from a local farmers, I thought that they're just like grow the beans and that's it. But actually they are like spirits of the whole.
Yes. From agronomic aspect, they have to learn how to take care of the field. They have to learn how to do a proper pruning and the proper way of picking at the right stage. Also the proper way of fermentation to the right stage. There's a lot of technical part to be improved. So it's like, that's why we call ourselves the Liberica refinement project. Is the process of refinement, the quality, right? So we don't just buy, because by buying coffee without refinement, the price is too low. It's not price is not good enough to support what they want. So you have to refine the quality to that state. Right.
Is there any changes? Have you seen from your observations? So what has the local farmers benefits from this project?
I think it's better to listen from his perspective. He has been observing the whole process from the very beginning.
Well, to be honest, we started as a roastery cafe. We didn't expect ourselves to be working on the ground with the farmers locally.
Yeah.
But then I guess it was really 𝗪𝗟𝗍𝗃 to see a lot of farmers didn't really know what to do with their coffee trees. Some of them they were on the brink of chopping down the trees and grow something else because they were not able to get a sustainable income from it. So when we reached out to these farmers and we were like, whoa, wow, you can actually do this and then everything will change. And they didn't just take our word for it, of course. We went back and forth. So there was a lot of effort put into the communication, or the visiting and support that we have to give them. So we have to show them that we are there to give first and not to like take or try to rip them off. Yeah, so we provide them not just the training, but also things like materials to build greenhouses for drying, fermentation equipment, equipments to pulp the seed out of the cherry. So these things they probably didn't know that these would help with the process.
Right.
So once all these facilities are in place and then they really work according to our instructions, and the results was astounding. So one thing that was different is they also drink their coffee, right?
Yeah.
And we try, after the refinement, we let them drink it and they can taste the difference.
Right.
So it's not just us telling them, you have to do this and then we'll just sell it and you never know how the coffee tastes and we just pay you this much. That's usually the model in the old world of coffee, like in other countries as well. And that's why there's a narration where a lot of coffee farmers are struggling to make a profitable income, and it's not a sustainable career for a lot of coffee farmers. But for us, we really see the change in terms of their confidence in the crop and also the income that they're getting per kilo versus what they were paid before, if they could find a selling channel.
Yeah. I think before our involvement, they received like, can I say, around 12 ringgit per kilo for the green bean, and now we're paying like 40 plus per kilo. It's almost triples the payment. Yeah,
That's a lot.
that's a lot, but that's the whole idea of the refinement project, because we want to make sure that the income is sustainable to support all the movement they have here.
I see. So they're not only growing the bean, but they also can evaluate the taste of the within the day.
Yes. And so for every kampong I visited all across Sarawak, from Upper Baram, Lower Baram, and even Bario and Lombanga, there's a lot also from 𝗏𝗏 area, from Syrian direction, there's a lot. So every kampong that I visit to give them training, I will always insist to do the cupping. It's a coffee testing session. So I believe that the farmer need to test the coffee themselves to know what's the changes and how it has been improved. And that's very important for them, because they need to know what 𝗘𝗽𝗰𝗴 wants. Right. So that is the thing. And I say 40 ringgit per kilo, that is just the beginning. I believe in the future, because we have no contract with the farmer. We are just empowering them and then show them the way to improve the quality. They are free to sell to any other buyers. Some of our farmers, they are able to sell up to 100 plus per kilo nowadays. It's quite crazy.
That's nice.
Right.
So some of them are quite entrepreneurial themselves. Apart from selling to us, they also do their own roasting and sell themselves, and we encourage that as well. Right?
That's a really nice movement that you guys done with the local farmers. So my next question is, in Sarawak, is there any specific conditions? Is there any specific areas where this Liberica grow more suitable than other places?
I think the place in the valley is always good for Liberica to grow, but because the problem is many people will think that the land in Sarawak is fertile, which is not, which is quite opposite, because we have a lot of water. We have very big water cycle. I mean, we have a lot of rain. So the rainfall will wash off all the nutrients and minerals in the water. But in the valley area, that's where all these minerals and nutrients will be collected in that area. So it's more fertile. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So yeah, so that's the story about their partnership with local farmers. So now talking about the step of, making coffees. For average Malaysian coffee drinker, what's one behind the scene, fact or a step in specialty coffee process that from ethical sourcing to the cup, that you think would truly open their eyes to the depth and artistry involved?
𝗦𝗁?
For me, mm, I think it would be the amount of work put into getting from the seed to the cup. So I guess many people, maybe coffee is just a daily fix. They don't really think too much about it.
Yeah.
Most people, if you ask them where coffee beans come from, they probably don't know.
Yeah.
So I guess if they really see, say, the farmer's whole process from how to take care of the trees, all the way to harvesting, hand picking, and quickly doing like pulping, fermentation, drying, and this whole process takes weeks sometimes, depending on how we do it. And especially we have a lot of rainfall here, so the drying takes longer, and then logistics, and then all the way to roasting and quality control on our side to judge the quality and how many defects, and if there's a problem, where's this problem coming from? What's the prognosis? Is it from the drying, the fermentation, or the soil? Yeah. So all this nitty-gritty details that most people wouldn't know. From if you're talking about average coffee drinkers, yeah. So I guess it's the chain process. Yeah.
Right. And also, I think one very interesting fact about coffee from Malaysia is that as a Malaysian, our standard of good coffee is always the word 𝗀, the 𝗀ness.
𝗀, yeah.
𝗀 have to be 𝗀, right? So when we think about coffee, we think of bitter drinks and the rich and bitter drinks. This is our understanding about coffee. And this is shaped by the coffee oak culture have been rooted in Malaysia for more than 100 years. But if you were to sell the coffee to the outside world, to the specialty market, they have their own standard of what good coffee is. They are looking for fruitiness, floral, like spices.
It doesn't necessarily
has
to be 𝗀.
𝗀 is just one of the standard. They have many requirements. So in order to change this perception, because you are selling to that particular market segment, right? So you need to show them what is in the coffee. So you need to present the coffee to them, the kind of coffee that we want to them, right?
I see. So for general audience, perhaps they might not. We know they like you said, they only know 𝗀 and whether it's not 𝗀 or not. So in general, from you guys are coffee experts. In general, what are actually the best standard for coffee taste? How you
Right. I think the coffee has to be wholesome. The flavor, I mean, have you seen the coffee flavor wheel? So we have a coffee, it's like the wine, they have a flavor wheel. Also for coffee, we have a flavor wheels.
Okay.
So in that coffee flavor wheel, that shows that all this yang istimewa, a good flavor from coffee. So what's something important is that the coffee has to be flavorful. It has to be balanced in terms of taste with nice acidity, which is not very common in Malaysia that we're looking for. And it has to be has a very good aftertaste. It has to be really clean cut. So it's like the balance of many aspects, right?
I see.
Good standard of good coffee maybe here.
Yeah, and for you, Fabian.
Yeah, well, because I mean, what Kenny shared is very correct in terms of the objective side of drinking coffee. Like balance is usually what we're after, but sometimes we want something that is out of the mundane, something that is extraordinary. That could also be something that people want to go after, right? So Liberica is one of them. Like they don't want the ordinary 𝗪𝗪 coffee taste. They want to experience something different. And this concept, we can borrow it from, for example, from beef industry. So say if the general market is really used to just roasted beef or burger meat, right? Because it's very accessible, right?
Yeah.
So the standard is just, how caramelized, how meaty, smoking, right? That is the general consensus of how beef should taste like. But then if you're introduced to the concept of things like Wagyu from Kobe or from Australia Black Angus, so you start to hear these names and you're like, how are they different from just the regular beef that I eat?
Yeah.
Then you would see, okay, they actually process the beef differently. They feed it different feeds. And obviously you don't want to overcook it. You want to cook it maybe like rare or medium rare to preserve some of the unique flavors from the meat. And this is something that is just going a bit more refined. So the same thing with coffee. Like if we want to preserve some of the origin or terroir flavors from a coffee, we probably don't want to roast it so dark like the traditional coffee that we are used to.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people, when we serve them some of these unique coffees, the first thing they say, the statement is, this doesn't taste like coffee, because it's against their mindset of what coffee should taste like. No, it's just like if you have never tasted sashimi, you've been eating fish, like just frying it all your life, and you eat sashimi, you can't really think of it as a fish as well. Yeah, that's sort of the analogy I use.
Or coffee. And
That's why people get surprised when they drink all this fruity coffee. They say, "Why? How come the coffee is acidic and it's tasted like fruits? Coffee is a kind of fruits. It's a cherry.
It's a yeah.
It's a seed of a cherry."
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I just like, especially with your analogy of the beef and how you can relate the taste of coffee with the taste of like, different beef and sort of this kind of thing. Yeah, okay. So, talking about your latest achievement, you guys are the winner of the 𝗟𝗪𝗃𝗀𝗃 Sarawak Challenge 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yep. So, beyond the significant, monetary benefits that you guys have got from the 𝗟𝗪𝗃𝗀𝗃 program, can you share a specific example of, how this mentorship has already, or how you will anticipate it will change or revolutionize Earthlings Coffee Workshop?
So for us, I think it's the Sarawak 𝗨𝗪𝗃𝗀𝗃 project. When we kickstarted this project, I think we didn't really, because our business was not a social enterprise from that kind of background. So we didn't really think about, things like social impact, or some of the support that you can gain as a social enterprise. We never really thought about that. We just went in and
Never really consider yourself as a social enterprise.
yeah, we didn't really define ourselves that way. Also, we're not really familiar with the entire concept. It's only when we start to join activities like 𝗟𝗪𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀 and we start to gain some of this perspective to understand that, so there are some support or other benefits that we can gain to help us accelerate this project even further by associating ourselves or the project with the social enterprise realm, I guess. Yeah, so we learn mostly a lot of these impact, change, and analysis, and during the boot camp, that was really helpful.
And also the connection that we met during the boot camp is very important. We get to meet all these people with ideas, not only making money, but they have these ideas to make things better. So these are the very important connections to us.
I think that kind of connections give you guys more like a motivation boost. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't feel alone. People doing some kind of things all around, right?
Yeah. It's just that you guys didn't know that it was actually part of a social enterprise.
Right.
Yeah. So, maybe in the next few years, we're talking about the short-term vision for Earthlings Coffee Workshop. What do you envision the
Right.
project will be in the next few years?
Right. For me, I think as a Sarawakian, it's very important that we have something to show to the world. We want to show our quality. We want the world to see Sarawak, what we have to offer. So for me, what really important or what I expected is that in few years' time, if we could make Sarawak famous as the high quality Liberica producing region, that's my target. So we want the world to see Sarawak as a high quality coffee producing region. That would be my target. Right.
So, talking about Liberica being grown in Sarawak,
Yes.
what makes it different from Liberica grown in other places other than Sarawak? Why does this Liberica Sarawak so special?
Because in many other coffee producing countries, so if you look at the map, we have this coffee belt, whereby in this region, nearer to the equator, which is warmer, whereby most of this country, they are able to grow coffee, but most of this country, they have high elevation place to grow Arabica and Robusta. And the problem for Sarawak is that we don't have enough high elevation land to grow the famous Arabica and 𝗘𝗍𝗯𝗃. So it used to be the curse in the past, but now in the face of global warming, people are looking for some coffee that is more resilient toward climate challenges. And our previous curse has become a blessing nowadays. So the reason for us being the Liberica producing region is that we have no elevation in the past. But now that all this coffee has been growing in Sarawak in the lower region, we prove to the world that even the coffee that is growing in the lower elevation can be good as well. And this is a very good story about Sarawak Liberica. Right.
We have a lot of diversity in Sarawak. So, because like I said, Liberica is a species,
right?
But within a species, there are different varieties, like countless varieties. Just like apple, you can have Granny Smith, you can have fruit, different color, different size, different shape. It's the same with coffee because it's also a fruit, right? So I think what we have very differently in Sarawak is that we have a lot of varieties.
Yeah.
Compared to West Malaysia, some of the Libericas we tasted there,
Right.
and usually of one or two strains of the varieties, because I think certain associations are involved in controlling what is grown there,
right,
to maximize productivity.
Yes.
But whereas in Sarawak, it was more free, I guess, for different communities to grow different strains of varieties.
So we don't have the restrictions of growing only certain varieties.
So it has been freely evolved in the past 140 years in the wilderness of Sarawak. And then we get all this yellow, orange, purple Liberica, the longer shape Liberica, rounder, bigger, shorter, with thinner skin, all kind of flavors coming out.
Yeah, and on a side note, this really attracted the attention of the Royal Botanical Garden of Kew in London. Their top coffee researcher emailed us because they saw what we did, especially with the sample collection.
Okay.
So 2 years ago, we went to London to meet him, and we brought over some of the samples to show him, and he was really interested. So he decided to work with us to conduct DNA sequencing test to study like what exactly are in our Liberica
in Sarawak,
and how is it different to the other ones. And this is going to be announced in the latest symposium that we are going to host at the end of November this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's the outcome from that research?
Yeah, it will be announced there. We know, but we can't really disclose it yet because I'm going to be published in Nature. So it's one of the biggest and most prestigious journals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. Because the Royal Botanical Gardens in Kew probably has, millions of specimens. And it's interesting that they reached out to you guys first to know about our own Liberica coffee.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a spam. I thought it was a scam. How many scams are there?
I mean, like someone's, try to be them and try to approach you in order to
say, who knows?
get something in return.
Yeah. But we looked up the emails, like, oh, it's legit. It's from 𝗏𝗏𝗀.
I'm pretty sure that you guys must feel like ecstatic getting this email. Like, is this real?
Yeah, right. I mean, but then again, it is something worth their attention, I think, because a lot of these varieties are unknown to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And because Liberica only accounts for less than 0.1% of the global market share.
Nice.
So it doesn't have a lot of attention. But from a research point of view, it is quite big for discovery. Yeah.
Right.
That's nice. So it's kind of like groundbreaking.
Right. And imagine if one day all these variants can become like the cultivar, a unique Liberica, purple Liberica, orange Liberica, and it's unique to Sarawak, and that would be something that we can show to the world.
Yeah, because the solution to climate change could be in our samples. If they could.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we've been to a lot of coffee conferences, international coffee conferences, in Germany a few times, that they gathered top coffee scientists to share about the latest news and findings in coffee. And a lot of the times the narrative that we hear is that coffee is going to run out within the next 20 years. It sounds like
Beware.
conspiracy. Yeah, it's not like a conspiracy theory, I know, but then it is based on science, based on very authority figures that actually shared this piece of information, and they are actively looking for solutions and also replacements for Arabica. And therefore, Liberica is actually, like what Kenny said, is more resilient to heat, and it can be thrived in lowland. So it could be very well the future of coffee as well.
Really, really hope that all the research is going well, and the outcome, maybe, the heavens is actually in Sarawak, like quality heavens is actually in Sarawak in the future.
Right.
Yeah. So, talking about the coffee scene in Malaysia, in Sarawak, if we compare it to the one in Indonesia, they're so robust, right? But here in Malaysia, it's still probably not a lot of it's not rigorous
Right.
as
Especially in Sarawak.
in Sarawak. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So what is actually lacking, and how are we going to try to make it more flourishing?
I think you can answer this better from the market ends.
Well,
You're right.
it's a very big question, to be honest, because from different perspective, I guess the most relevant perspective is how much money you can make out of this
Yeah.
industry. I guess there were no infrastructure from the very beginning to make this into a profitable industry compared to other crops.
Okay.
Whereas Vietnam and Indonesia, they had decades of planning ahead for this whole thing. So in terms of sheer volume, we don't have the volume to compare because we don't have the infrastructure to cash in on coffee.
Yeah.
So when there is no money, there's no business, there's no import and export, it doesn't become the topic for the center of topic.
And also the population is a big challenge for us. We don't have a lot of big population, and even though we said how many do we have, like 3 million in Sarawak, but many of them, they are living in the rural place.
Yeah.
Right. Scattered across Sarawak. Yeah.
And another thing, it would be, I guess, the geographical limitations. We don't have as much highlands, I guess, right, that is suitable to grow Arabica. And we have very scattered, maybe, communities to do this. So it's there's some natural limitations.
I see. So, all right. So perhaps we were moving towards the end of the sessions for today. From both of you, maybe one from Dr. Kenny and one from Raven, what is the most single valuable advice you can give to young Malaysian entrepreneurs who are looking to start a purpose-driven business for a project like this, particularly in a niche market like specialty novel?
I think the most important value is to be persistent and to do it very serious. Whatever you want to do, you need to do it really serious. Just don't do it to just pass, just lose. It's not enough. You have to do to the peak. Like, that's the thing I believe. So if you look at Earthlings, the way we do things, we always strive for the top, to the best, and that's the key, I believe. Right.
for you?
For me, I guess it's not to be afraid of failures, I think. Because I think me myself, sometimes I would think a lot about failing and the consequences and it limits. I think it limits me in taking action. So like Kenny says, I think we have to put in your 100% if we really believe in the purpose of it. So having the purpose and making sure that it's a purpose that you believe in is very important. And for example, like if you ask me why I'm in coffee in the very beginning, I would just have to come up with a very simple answer: is that I like drinking this coffee and I'm excited to share this cup to someone else because I genuinely enjoyed it. So to have that level of confidence in whatever service or products that you are providing is very important. That will keep you going, I guess. Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So that's their advice to you, young entrepreneurs who really wants to go into a niche market like specialty coffee.
I like to think that we're still young too.
Do you want to know my age? No. Advice for ourselves? No.
Yeah. So to end our session today, one more questions, perhaps a very, a casual, fun
Right.
question to end up. So for Dr. Kenny and also 𝗏𝗏, what type of coffee do you guys personally enjoy, and how do you personally make your coffee that you think this is the best way for me to drink my coffee?
Instant coffee. No, just.
So the fun fact about me is that people see us selling all kind of coffee, like cappuccino and long black and all kind of coffee, with all the additive and all these things. But the truth is, I'm what they call the Illuminati. I only drink black coffee. I don't even drink coffee with milk. And that's my type of coffee because I'm the one who always, I'm the one who purchase coffee from all these farmers. So for me, black coffee is the way I get to know the coffee itself. So I only go for black coffee.
So I guess what Kenny is saying that you really want to know a person, you have to see that person without makeup.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So it has to be like raw,
Sure,
pure.
I guess. Yeah, but of course, you still have to make sure that everything is done right? So you have to make sure that person had enough sleep, that person is on a good diet to look their best. Yeah, I think I'm very much close to Kenny's answer as well to enjoy, for example, a hand-brewed coffee. That would be a good way to enjoy coffee that is not too concentrated, and you can actually taste the unique characters of each coffee. Where you can taste how the roasting was, the origin taste, the variety and species of that coffee, like it gives off different notes. So in the hand brewed without adding milk or adding sugar, that's the best way to
Enjoy your coffee. All right. What a fascinating conversation that we have today. So I think that's the end of our podcast, the Sarawak podcast session for today. A huge thank you to Dr. Kenny and also 𝗏𝗏
Thank you,
for coming to our studio today and talking about their coffee journey and how they're actually making Liberica flourishing more in Sarawak, and perhaps more development on this Liberica beans in the future. Who knows, right? So yeah, their journey is actually a powerful reminder that that a business can be a force for good, and that by embracing unique local sources, we can create something truly special. So for those of you who wants to know more about the GAS program, like the one that Dr. Kenny and 𝗏𝗏 joined, which is Shell LifeWire Sarawak Challenge, you can head on to their social media. They're on Facebook and Instagram. Just search Tegas Digital Village and Innovation Hub. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and until next time, keep brewing ideas, guys. Bye-bye.